Lady, the problem isn't in my pants. Mex-Men.
I weird myself out how much I confuse Jack Nicholson and Robert De Niro.
Yeah,
That is weird.
Yeah, I don't know why I always confuse them, but for some reason my brain just does.
I automatically think of The Shining when I think of Jack Nicholson.
I never do.
It's like any Jack Nicholson movie. I'm like, I could see De Niro doing that.
The
Anger
Shining,
management?
Yeah,
I can see De Niro, yeah.
it's practically Meet the Fockers.
Yeah, except he's actively trying to fuck his daughter.
Yeah.
But, like, not his daughter. But, like, it...
Been on Pornhub too much since
No.
quarantine.
In Meet the Fockers, it's his daughter, and the guy, like, but in Anger Management, the love interest to the main character isn't his daughter.
Yeah, and he's
Yeah.
trying to fuck.
I just mean because you said it's practically Meet the Fockers, and I was like, yeah, except, you know.
I've been on like a De Niro kick lately, where I'm like the other night I watched Cape Fear, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna watch Taxi Driver.
You know what I haven't done yet? Seen The Irishman.
I haven't either. It's very, very long.
I haven't even sort of wanted to.
You don't even.
And we've been in quarantine.
Yeah.
See, you say I don't even, but I don't know in this moment. I know I haven't. In this moment, nah, fuck it. I still don't want to. Never mind. Yeah, sure. I don't even.
And in this moment, you're listening to this issue of Mex-Men. I'm Tony.
I'm Justin.
I'm Devin.
And today we're going to be covering part 2 of the Trial of Jean Grey.
Although that's weird because it's also part 4, 5, and 6.
Yes.
Is it though?
It is.
Tis.
Because each issue in the 6-part series is a part.
Is a part into its own.
Yeah. But
So,
it's our part 2.
I
So
gotta
that was
say,
also
though,
correct.
Scott's mom.
Who's
She's got it
mom?
going on. Scott's mom.
Scott's mom.
Oh, yeah.
She's
Because
got it going on.
Yeah, so part 4 of the crossover starts with Guardians issue 12. And yeah, it opens with the Cyclops origin. And yeah. So you're saying his mom's hot.
Yes.
Well, because she's about to be on fire.
I'd argue she was on fire before that, but yeah, this is like the 5th time we've seen this exact scene.
Yeah, we've seen this. I would argue it's probably more than that at this point.
Yeah.
And that's
You get a
just
lot
from
more,
what
like-
we've read for the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of origins, we've seen a lot. I saw somebody saying the other day that like how much of a pain in the ass it must have been for the guy who killed Batman's parents to have to like bend over and pick up each and every single one of those pearls.
Did he, though? Or did he just run?
I mean, he was robbing them, right?
He was, sure, but like I felt like he just cut and ran at that point because he was like, fuck it, I can't get him. Although, I mean, it's hilarious to think that while you have a sobbing, mourning, traumatized Bruce Wayne, you just have some other vaguely homeless dude picking up pearls right next to him, like ignoring
those
all
little
of that.
brooms.
That
those
is
little hand
hilarious.
brooms.
But going back to Scott's origins, his dad's wearing Cyclops glasses.
Yeah,
It's like
and he has a normal mustache.
Yeah, but it's kind of like growing out that way. It's
Yeah.
kind of like it just grows so slow that it's now at the handlebar mustache point.
Yeah, he was always almost a pirate with his facial hair.
He's like
That's what they're
leveled up
showing.
now.
Yeah, clean cut. Christopher Summers was still almost a pirate.
Because you said level up, it makes me think that he's a you know those shitty ads for mobile games where it's just
Oh my god!
It makes me think of that.
Yeah.
It's like him level 15 and then all of a sudden he jumps to level 65 and he's got a full handlebar mustache.
Those are the fucking worst, by the way.
Exactly.
Oh
It's
yeah.
normally like a scrawny dude, then he's all buff. But in his case, it's like nothing's changed but his mustache.
You know what? As I dedicated the last episode to a shout out, I'd like to shout out those level up games. Hey, fuck you. That's right, another bad shout out. You guys suck and I'm tired of seeing your ads.
Have you seen the shitty mobile game ad where it's 2 stick figures that have the head of like a bear and they're spanking each other?
Whoa, I'm not getting these ads.
Yeah, it's just one is spanking.
What are you searching?
I'm not searching anything. They're just fucking
This
there.
is in your algorithm.
They're always there. But it's like one spanking the other bear and the bear is like crying. And I think it's an ad for like just a puzzle game. And there's a series of ads that's like this one woman's life, and one is her like excitedly sitting on like a washing machine, and then the another one is like her telling her boyfriend that she's pregnant, and he just fucking dips, and she erases one of the lines on the pregnancy test because she's not actually pregnant. She was trying to get him to run away.
I think you get some weird ads.
Your ads are vaguely porn.
This is something going on here.
These are it's all for some gardening puzzle game. Shit's weird.
All right, I think you just revealed something about yourself.
That
You
he
should get
likes
this in post.
gardening and puzzles.
Those are. It's not true. You
And
take that
crazy
back. You take that back.
So this issue, it starts with this moment and the origin, and then Scott wakes up again to a room full of people staring at him, but now even more people. Because, like, his dad and junk, they're seeing his now fear boner. Because he was having a traumatic dream of, like, his past.
You know he likes danger.
This is clearly showing that he has the series of concussions that he's had
since childhood,
leading to some issues.
It's funny that this is, like, the highlight of everyone's life right now. They're just like, oh, Scott's passed out again. Let's stare at him.
Right, but also, because they're like, hey, this is that kid with the boners, right?
Yeah, let's see.
We all saw last time. But, all right.
And then he hugs his dad.
But the first time it happened, you could be like, oh, okay, maybe he got knocked out in the fight, and then when the Guardians got there, they weren't just going to leave him in the rubble, so of course they took him unconscious with them. This time, it's like the last issue ends with him hearing his father's name. Did he faint? What happened?
He's like one tiny hit away from being Rob Gronkowski. I don't know if you've ever seen that dude talk, but
No.
Yeah, or Brian Lockley. It's just
Okay, the swimmer guy?
yeah, it's just that total like I have no idea where I am as I'm talking, but I know I'm having fun.
But I don't know if he's having fun. He never seems to be. Counting the number of times he's sad boyed, I don't know where there's room for fun.
Sad boying is a Cyclops classic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like right up there with Geometry Powers.
It's like above Geometry Powers.
Yeah, I would agree. It's above Geometry Powers.
So, yeah, like you said, he hugs his dad, and it's like, oh, you're really real.
You think he gave his dad one of those hugs that, like, when you're in high school, and you give a girl a hug, but you didn't want her to know about your boner, and you'd like
It looks
push
like
your
they
ass
are.
out so that she wouldn't feel the boner.
It looks like they're hugging with the hips away.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, because at that point, even his dad's like, I gotta keep it away because I wear this suit specifically for my relationship with this cat lady.
You want to
And,
correct him on the name, Justin? I know you do.
Hebzibah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't want to feel the wet spot. I can see it. I'm gonna back off a little bit.
I mean, she convinced me to buy this suit that's ribbed for my pleasure, so I don't want to like press it against my son here because that's awkward. I never thought I'd be in this moment where he'd want to hug me.
And
Yeah, I
speaking
feel
of
like the
fun,
X-Men suits are like thermal and all like the insulated suits. He's got the cup, and Corsairs is like just cheap.
So they're the suits from The Incredibles.
He's no cup and just liquid seeps through it.
Going commando in it though too, so
Yeah.
you see like the ridge of the
Oh,
head.
geez. Everything.
Liquid slips through it. Sounds like a Bon Jovi album.
All right, so
That's two Bon Jovi references.
I know. That's too many, to be honest.
Yeah, it is way too many.
jumping to, speaking of references,
And speaking of fathers,
Spartax, King Jason. Yep, it's back.
it never left. Devin's really into that.
So he's getting briefed by a guy with, I'm pretty sure, a wicked fucking soul patch.
It is insane. That's a choice. He made a big
Oh, of
choice
course.
there.
That's like one of those things where it's like when you reach the master level soul patch, you got to fight him.
Yeah.
He is going back to what we were saying.
What is going on out there? Sorry.
Justin, you can't see this, but outside the window, there's 4 people riding a small go-kart. They're
trying to
carrying-
fly a kite.
It's clearly only one person can fit in there, and they're trying to make a kite fly, but they're not going fast enough.
Yeah. That is
sounds
not
like a
at all
good
what we
time.
thought we would see outside of our window.
But going back to the mobile game things, he is like a regular guy with a soul patch, and then he kills like 3 secret agents, and then gets that soul patch.
That's the only change.
Yeah, that's a level 65 soul patch.
Anyway, so he's basically getting briefed on the fact that the Shi'ar went to Earth, kidnapped Jean Grey, and went back, and that the Guardians are involved. And he sort of lets he's like, yeah, I know that was gonna happen, but like, what? My son's involved now? And then his advisor's like, what? How did you know? Like, I'm briefing you now. Like, how did you already know this shit? So I guess those council meetings of like all the royalty of the galaxy really are just secret. Secret. He's got a secret. I don't know.
Was that a song?
It is.
Continue, please.
No, it is a song. And then they're back, the kite people. He gave up.
They lost their kite.
He's going back for it. He's running.
I wish we were videotaping this right now. It's a Minions kite, by the way, for anybody wondering.
Oh, jeez.
It's stuck in the
has
bush.
to be.
Yeah, his kite got stuck in the bush.
Oh man.
he's
running with it.
He's trying to make it fly, running towards the yeah.
Oh, this is terrible. All right. So King Jason is like, all right, well, I was gonna let this go, but now that my son's involved, now I gotta get involved. So,
Which is the same thing as Sun said.
right?
Yeah, like my dad's doing it. I gotta stop him.
And at this point, is he like, he's just trying to prove he's good to his son or something? Like, because we know that all the things he's doing is for show, because he's actually a really terrible guy.
Yeah.
But like, so is this all for the benefit of, see, son, I'm not so bad?
At this point, he's still trying to convince Peter Quill to come and be his successor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he's like, we said the Earth was off limits. We specifically said the Earth was off limits. And he goes and he invades Earth to kidnap a child. I mean, I knew he was going to do this, but I'm outraged.
The last time we sent somebody to Earth, Will Smith punched him in the face. So we cannot send any more people there.
And then I think he even asks, like, so what was Earth's response and stuff? And the guy's like, oh, they were really good. No response at all. They had no idea. Because, sneaky.
Yeah, it was
tech.
covert.
I hear
Except
they
for the
used
fact
spheres.
that all the X-Men know. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Our whole plan, bring the spears.
He's like, they used spheres? Not even domes? Man, it was serious.
Yeah. They didn't want to half trap them. They
Those were-
wanted to whole trap them.
Those were some sneaky special ops. All right, so cut to the throne world of the Shi'ar, and the Imperial Guard's just training because that's the ceremonial thing to do. But then again, it seems like everything you see the Shi'ar do is fucking ceremonial.
Their whole life
And in
is
case
just
you
one
didn't
big
know,
ceremony.
what's his name? Guardian is Superman.
Yeah.
For those that didn't know.
Yeah,
His name is
Gladiator is-
Calark. Oh, yeah, Gladiator, not
Yeah.
Guardian. Yeah.
He's one of the very many Superman ripoffs that Marvel has.
But he's
He was
also
supposed to be like the exact clone.
Yeah, well, I mean, aren't they all though? But he's like Superman if Superman's powers were more like Green Lantern's, because he's
Well, his is
actually
confidence based, yeah.
he's as strong as he feels he is.
Yeah, if
But
you
no,
told
'cause-
me as a small wiener, he just gets so
It's
weak.
done. Well, because people try to say like Sentry was a Superman clone, but it's like no. Whereas Guardian or Gladiator, it is literally he's got all the powers. I mean,
What
no
do
freeze
you
breath,
mean Sentry is not a Superman clone? He has a
He's not.
giant S right on him.
Sentry is way more interesting than Superman.
I'm not
Yes.
saying he's not. I'm saying because most things are more interesting than Superman.
He's not an alien. He's got mind-based powers. He is not a clone at all.
And he's a drug addict.
He's got a cape.
Yeah.
He's got an S.
Everyone's got a cape. I've got a cape.
And technically,
Are you wearing it right now?
Yes, that's why I turned off the video.
So you can wear your cape. I picture you put on the cape, but as you're like about to tighten it, you turn around the picture of Lana Del Rey that you have.
Yeah, that is
Like,
the cape.
"Shh, don't look.
well, he's not.
Well, yeah,
telling
'cause
us
he's
that
using-
he took his shirt off first before putting on the cape, so he's got those nips bare, and he
course.
doesn't want to show those nips.
Actually, the shirt is the cape. He just ties the sleeves together.
The reason why I brought this up is because he's using the heat vision.
Yes.
Kal-Ark is.
Yeah.
Gladiator. Which his name is even similar to Kal-El, so.
It really is. I'd say he's the most rip-offiest of the Superman rip-offs that Marvel has, besides the guy who they made just as a parody of Superman.
Apparently they made the whole Imperial Guard as a parody of Justice League, but I like the fact that they didn't make them important.
Yeah.
It was like, this is Justice League, but they're side characters.
Are you reading Jason Aaron's Avengers run at all right now?
No.
I'm
not.
Because they straight up have a rip-off of Justice League there.
Oh, I did hear about that. They had like an evil Wonder Woman and stuff like that.
Yeah, like they have Hyperion as their Superman, and then they have like a speedster, and everybody is like a direct ripoff with like the origins being of the Justice League.
But they're evil, right?
Yeah, I mean they're evil, but their whole thing is they're employed by the government. But
Also, they're evil.
Like they chase away these monsters that are invading America, but they just kind of chase them to Canada, and then they're like, "Well, that's Canada's problem."
That's it.
Yeah.
Job done. Wipe our hands of this.
That's funny.
So they're Coulson's showy group or whatever, but yeah, they're evil.
Like Wolverine will deal with it.
Yeah, or they're being manipulated because Hyperion's not evil.
He's not?
No.
Yeah,
He's
he is.
just like mean?
No, he's just. I mean, he's just kind of Superman. I mean, he was on that one, the Squadron Supreme. Which, yeah, this is the Squadron Supreme too, but it's like
but he ripped off.
version.
Didn't he rip Namor's head off? Namor. Jesus.
That's because Namor just destroyed every universe besides like 2.
All right, so Hyperion's evil. That's what you're telling me.
Because he killed Namor.
Yep.
So if you kill Namor, you're evil.
Case closed. Yep.
All right. Even if you kill that supervillain, you're evil.
Exactly.
Oh, that's where I fucked up. I thought I was looking into the issue we're currently on because I wanted to make sure I had something right. But I was actually looking into the next issue. I was like, are all my notes wrong? Did I just fuck up entirely? But no. So an interesting thing happens where Oracle kind of confronts Gladiator a bit on his stance of like, Jean Grey is the worst and the most terrible and she needs to be tried. So you sort of get the sense that like, especially now that Oracle is kind of like in the middle, like on the fence of where she falls in the whole like prosecuting of Jean Grey.
I think also she's scared of Jean.
Yeah, I think they're all scared.
I don't
of Jean.
think she's scared of Jean.
I think as soon as she gets out of that bubble, she's pretty damn scared of Jean Grey.
Yeah. I think they're all scared of Jean Grey because of what Jean can do, frankly. Like, they all know the ramifications of everything. But, like, one of the things that have been bugging me is that isn't this already paid for, technically?
No.
How?
I mean, they tried Jean Grey before.
How was it paid?
Exactly. Well, they already
Yeah, but she killed herself. She committed
abduct-
suicide before she can go to jail.
They got what they wanted. It was trial by combat, and she's like, fine, I'll die. And then death.
They didn't want her to be happy about it.
She
Yeah,
even
it's
died
one
a
of
whole
those things,
extra
like-
time.
No, you can't kill you. Only I can kill you.
Bendis didn't read Claremont's run. He just heard about it in passing.
He probably didn't. He's pulling a Hickman. But I think Oracle's afraid of Phoenix, not Jean. Because she's already overpowering Jean mentally.
I like the idea that Hickman's whole X-Men is like Bender and Futurama when they won't let him at the theme park. He's like, I'll make my own X-Men with hookers and blackjack.
Pretty much that's Hickman, but with orgies instead of hookers.
Yeah.
But also where Oracle is basically telling him that, like, you're creating a war with the X-Men. Like,
she does
Yeah.
sound afraid of the X-Men, yeah.
Yeah, she's like, you stole one of theirs with no real explanation, and I mean, you had a hard choice to make, and you made it, but like, don't lie to yourself. Like, she even says like, you're speaking an untruth. Like, she's just calling him out, and then he gets all pissy because he's like, hey, telepath, no reading my mind, and she does that thing where it's like, I didn't have to read your mind. It's on your face.
Which they all say, and they're always lying. They read the mind.
Yeah, right. But like, basically,
But everybody here can read your mind.
And he was, and his argument, like, or justification rather, is like, look, they're a primitive planet. They don't nearly have like the speed of space travel that we have. They're not going to get here by the time they even know what we did. I mean, we used the super secret agents. They had the spheres. We're good.
It's not like they're gonna team up with like, I don't know, Guardians of the Galaxy, for example.
And run into the Starjammers along the way.
I like somebody taps him on the shoulder and he's like, "What was that?" Bendis is ready, both of them.
Yeah, he really didn't say much. It was kind of all Oracle talking, and the thing he said the most was Oracle.
Yeah, Oracle.
And she just kept talking.
Oracle. Get out of my mind. She's like, I'm
all
not
right,
in your
get the
mind.
tribunal ready. I'm done with this.
Yeah. And then there's a cut back to the Starjammer, and Scott and Corsair are finally sort of having a conversation over, like, hey, you're not dead. And it gets pretty dark because Corsair's like, yeah, I mean, this is awkward because, like, we already had this conversation, which kind of shows how shitty of a dad he is, where he's like, I thought I got out of this.
Yeah, he's like, I did this. Jesus, twice.
I did this. And I mean, it was easier then because you're already an adult.
I escaped right away and just kind of hung out until you were an adult. I just kind of didn't want to take care of a kid.
Yeah.
Turns
now
out I
you're
wasn't
crying
ready.
even more.
Yeah. And
You're more of a sad boy.
Because Scott's even like, so then, Mom? And he's like, oh, about that.
He's
like,
just
you're alive.
Beast is the worst. He shows up like, at least your dad's alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got that going for you. You a couple of weeks ago, you thought your brother was dead and your dad was dead, and they're
Plus
both
one
alive.
dad.
Wait till you found out about your other brother.
He was ripped from your mother's womb, given crazy alien growth hormone, turned into a slave, and then turned into an empire, and then died.
Yeah.
Well, turned into an emperor who created a hell empire and then died.
You'll live with them on the moon. It'll
Yeah.
all be cool.
Yeah.
You'll have barbecues.
And,
Wolverine.
and you'll be
That
banging
was the
Wolverine, not
best.
the one you think. Speaking of,
Yeah.
Wolverine, well, X-23 at this point, she goes over and she gives Sad Boy Scott a big
I really
hug,
like that.
'cause-
She is like 2 months away from being Wolverine.
yeah.
Just because he did that to her, gave her the awkward hug,
Yeah.
or gave her the awkward hug, and she's got to give it to him.
Yeah, well, they don't have an audience this time. So
Yeah, true.
she's like, I could do it and be cool, and he's the one crying, so.
He's crying optic blast tears.
Yeah. So Jean Grey gets woken back up in that weird dark cell thing. And this is finally when she realizes it's like an illusion, that they're actually in their mind and that Oracle's manipulating it. And she's like, okay, like she gets a better explanation at this point of what her crimes even are, like of the Phoenix. And Oracle brings up,
Turns out they're against humanity.
huh?
Her crimes
Yes.
are against humanity.
Oh, fuck you. Fuck you.
You like puns.
Fuck you.
Is that a
Also,
pun, though?
they're against the Dabari. So
Yeah.
they're not quite humanity.
They're humanoids.
Well, they're plants.
They were.
They could turn into humans.
Weren't they plants that turned into things?
Broccoli people. There's
They're
people in
broccoli
there.
people. Okay.
In the Dark Phoenix movie, which we all can take as
Ah!
That's canon.
they can turn into people.
Whatever.
Or broccoli.
Or just basically look like Groot, but worse.
And sometimes be able to take bullets and sometimes not be able to take bullets.
Not big bullets. Only medium bullets.
Or any bullets. I mean, because
Small bullets kill them too.
Yeah.
If you shoot one of those bullets from Mario, they're right out of there.
Bullet
They
bill,
won't even touch
day.
it. Yeah.
So anyway, all these are kind of interrogation scenes, but like reverse interrogation, because like it's not like Oracle's trying to extract information. She's more like forcing information upon Jean.
Trying to help Jean, it seems like.
Well, help her understand what a piece of shit she grows to become.
Well, it seems like more like trying to help her be innocent. Or she is innocent, trying to help her like get off the hook, and Jean is just freaking out.
Sort of. Well, because Jean says, like, is
You try
this...
staying calm trapped in a sphere.
She is stuck in a sphere. But Jean
Aren't we all though?
Not if you listen to flat
Yeah,
earthers.
the atmosphere. So Jean's like, so that's just it. I'm guilty of something without a lawyer or trial. And it's like, what the fuck do you... Yeah, you're on trial and I'm your lawyer.
Like, read
She's
the
like, I'm
title
your
of the book.
court-appointed lawyer.
Which is kind of a fucked up way to find out, like, the person you think is interrogating you the whole time is like, wait, you're my legal counsel?
Yeah.
You're representing me? It's like, yeah, it turns out I've been your best bud the whole time. And I heard all those names you called me in your mind. Not cool.
I'm not sure what most of them mean because I don't speak your language that well. But
See, I was getting a real helpful vibe from Oracle, though, to be honest.
I don't know because I think she still dislikes Jean. So it's more like because she's telling her your outrage won't help you. You need to calm down because the Shi'ar people don't take kindly to this. They don't look favorably on emotional expression.
Well, yeah, that's trying to help her so that she can get off free. She's trying to say, like, if you're over here screaming, you're dead. Quit screaming.
Yeah. But also, like, quit screaming because it's annoying, you know?
Well, that's what she was thinking, but...
Yeah, and Jean heard it because they're both telepaths.
But I like, we got more of that good art where she was like, you're going to have to convince them you're innocent. She's like, I am innocent.
I love how you said more of that good art and then you read the text. You don't describe it.
Well, because it also has to do with the text. But she says you have to be more convincing than that. As she's like backing away and it's just the eyes.
Yeah.
So more of the like she's controlling her mind and just fading away.
But what she does too is like, so you don't know anything that you're going to do. And she's sort of like, well, I mean, I did see my entire lifeline, like my whole future, but it was only a glimpse, only real quick. I mean, I saw the whole thing and I've been judging this guy I know for a while now because of it. And he's really mad. We had a whole argument at the beginning of this event.
It's really uncomfortable.
You wouldn't have read it, but like you could read it from my mind.
It's in part 1 with the X-Men, not
the Guardians. And yeah, but like, so I kind of know about the big cosmic firebird that I used to destroy an entire star system or whatever, but like, you know, not me. And so she's like, okay. And so she's like, well, think harder. You're a telepath. Go in your own mind. And then Jean does and cries and it's like, yeah, I did that. So
a lot of tears in this issue.
Yeah, she's sort of forced to confront the fact that that's what is gonna happen for her, and so that's what already had happened in the universe.
Or maybe not that's what's gonna happen to her, but it's already happened, yeah.
Well, yeah, in the sense that it's her future version, yeah.
Well, because obviously she can change the future because she's there.
Well, one of them, because she does say, I think we forgot to mention this last episode, that like in her argument with Scott, because he's asking like, you know, how she's feeling and is like he wants to know that she's okay, and she's like, yeah, well, you want to know how I am? I watched myself die twice. Well, I know that I died twice. I saw it in Beast's head, but then also I literally watched the future version of me, this me, die. That was in Battle of the Atom. And then I also learned that all my family's dead. So, you know, I'm dealing. I find all this stuff out and I deal with it.
I'm working on it.
Yeah, it's a lot.
She's definitely going through a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But Cyclops was trying to like help out during that period.
Yeah, he was trying to get her to talk about it and actually process it.
Yeah, because we didn't
healthily
point out. But yeah, he was like, she said she's dealing with it like by herself, basically. And he kind of whispered under his breath, that's healthy.
Yeah. So in this moment, it's sort of her realizing like, I mean, she does fucked up. It's not just like her dying over and over again and like, oh, woe is me because of stuff that happens to me. But also like, oh, maybe I kind of was a dick, huh? Like I kind of do be a dick later on in my life.
Yeah, like she kind of starts questioning like maybe she should be trialed.
Yeah.
Or tried right here.
And then back on the ship with the Guardians, there's a beginning little bit of banter between Kitty and Star-Lord. Not a lot, but like her basically like thanking him for coming to help them and all that stuff, and him being like, I'm a superhero, that's what I do.
Yeah, and he's like, I noticed I didn't officially say hi to you, so what up?
Yeah. So just some foreshadowing for later. And then they realize, because they get into the Shi'ar throne world to go to the tribunal, and then they actually can't because it's packed with ships, and they're like, oh, well, we're going to get caught right away because this seems to be like a pretty big event. And they come up with the idea that they got to steal a ship and go in together rather than both the Starjammer and the Guardian ship going in and kind of crashing the place.
It's like, of course, Corsair would think of that. That was his first thought.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, it was the right one.
It was, but he's a space pirate, so.
Right.
That's a solution to everything, is steal a ship.
And then cut to a big splash page that is just Gladiator and the Tribunal. You see just how many people are basically in this like arena of a courtroom.
It's the Galactic Senate over here.
Oh, from Star Wars?
Yeah.
He is the Senate.
And then they bring the sphere out that is holding Jean Grey. And he's basically like, they bring up a screen and they're like, look at it. This is what you did. This is the last transmission of our Shi'ar battlecruiser as they watched you, as the Phoenix, destroy a star, destroying the only living planet within that star system, which actually is like, you know, not so bad. There was only one planet.
It's one planet. It's not too bad.
Oh, I know, but like if there was multiple planets, only one inhabiting life, right?
Well, yeah, it could have been worse, but still.
Could have been multiple planets inhabiting life.
So you mean like Earth?
I mean, like if it happened in the in Shi'ar space, right? All those planets are inhabiting life.
Are they?
All of them. It's a lot of planets.
Well, a lot of them.
Where's your facts?
You're going to need some proof for this one.
Well, the fact that there's a throne world that is just the capital planet, and then there's multiple planets that are in their system.
Shi'ar space is big.
I know, that's what I'm saying. If she destroys the primary star, like sun of that system,
I think they got.
I think they control more than just a single galaxy.
Yeah, thank you. It's multiple. It's
it's more than a single system, maybe. Not a single
Tatooine
galaxy.
has 2 suns, so I mean, like this, they probably have a couple.
Whatever. Semantics. It could have been worse.
You are upset to semantics.
All right, so that's how that issue ends. Is him basically being like, "See what you do, fucking bird lady of fire."
I swear he gives her like 1 second. It doesn't look like that, but I just like to think that. He's like, you have nothing to say for yourself?
Oh, yeah.
I take your silence as...
Oh, that's,
like,
that's
immediately.
That's the next issue, but yeah.
Oh. Yeah, that's what I took it as, like, immediately.
But, I mean, since you brought it up, so
Answer
part
now.
5, that's issue 24 for all new. And yeah, it starts with Gladiator, again, charging Jean, like, see what you do, and exactly what you just said. It's like, oh, nothing to say for yourself, huh? Which also, isn't that up for her lawyer?
Yeah, her lawyer is, like, not even in the room.
For opening
She's hiding behind a wall.
Right?
Not even that, she's just making her invisible in everybody's head.
Yeah. Lawyer didn't show up for the case.
And so he's about to accuse her now because she's not saying anything. And then Jason shows up.
Hey,
You have way too much fun saying that.
I like it. Because I don't have to say it because you're doing it. So the blame is all on your shoulder.
Yeah, it's all you.
I know, but I like that I basically beat you to a Justin joke.
Pretty much. I'm enjoying it, so.
I don't know what you're talking about. That's some top quality Devin joke there.
No. Fucking running it into the ground and then still going with it. That's the Devin joke.
Yes, that is the Devin part of it.
So, anyway, he just walks on stage like it's a big stage. And he just walks in front of them, so it's like implied he was always standing like right on the edge, and no one noticed that he was right there.
You know, he
Should've
came out to like
moonwalked
some
under there.
jock jams too. Like, you know, it was like the trial started, and you hear, "Y'all ready for this?" And he was like, "What's up?"
So I got to point out, he walks onto the stage, right? Full head of hair.
Yeah.
And then it zooms out, and he's talking to Gladiator. He's bald. He's just got the sideburns. Like, he's got that old man side hair where it doesn't grow on top anymore, just on the sides.
For real?
He does.
Yeah.
I see what.
There was an image where he looks like, it's got to be like 20 years older. No hair on the top.
That can't be right. That's fucked up coloring. Because he's got hair in every other panel he's in. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just an error, but it's funny because he's still got hair on the sides.
I just didn't think a couple assholes like us were going to zoom into it.
Oh, of course. They didn't think.
They didn't put detail in his hair.
He ran out of ink. He was like, whatever.
I think when they were doing this, they weren't expecting fucking smart paneling and all that, like, digital comics to blow up even remotely. And
if they didn't see this coming, then...
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I saw that on my standard single issue comic, so...
So you're saying it's a problem with you?
I'm saying it was a problem that they should have fixed, but whatever.
Also, I just want to point out, too, it's kind of funny that you were reading an actual issue and we're the ones reading digitally because it's usually the exact opposite.
And I have these issues.
Yeah. Oh, me too.
I feel like taking them out.
Don't
I
have them
have
on
the
me.
issues, but I like to read digitally so that everyone doesn't hear me flipping pages
Right.
while I'm doing this.
So yeah, he sort of just starts defending Jean about how she's innocent. Okay, actually, too, because that is how he introduces himself, basically. Because Gladiator's like, "I take your silence for," and he just yells, "Innocence!"
Yeah, it's kind of like, does anybody object to this marriage? Here
Yeah.
comes Jason.
For him, it's John Cena's music that plays when he comes in. He screams innocent, and then you hear the music kick in.
and then he goes on to just be like, "This whole thing is a farce. You just wanted to go and kidnap a girl, so you feel precious and special. You're the one who conquered the Phoenix, even though the Phoenix isn't even in this girl yet, and she's done nothing. She's time displaced. And oh yeah, what was that bit about you killing her entire family?" And she's like, "Wait, what now?"
Excuse me.
Oh, right. He just straight roasted him, put him under the fire right there for Gene.
He ends this conversation by dropping the microphone on the stage.
Yeah.
But doesn't at all, actually. They dismiss the entire tribunal, and they're just left on the stage arguing with each other. Like, even the Imperial Guard, like, take the sphere with Jean in it and start walking away. And even the Imperial Guard is like, so, like, he's right? Like, I mean, we all know he's a dick, but, like, he didn't lie. Everything he was saying about Jean and her being innocent right now, like, this girl is true. Like, she hasn't done anything.
Yeah, it's really only been Gladiator who's been so straightforward with not giving her any innocence at all. Everybody else has been kind of iffy on it. But even though he drops the mic and nothing really changes, but a lot changes with Jean because she's hearing this.
Yeah.
And he says, like, if she had the power, do you really think she would let you live? Like, after hearing that she killed her whole family.
Right. And
So that kind of sets up stuff.
And it keeps bringing me back to this point, like, why at all? Why this event at all? Only Gladiator seemed to be the one who wanted Jean tried for being the Phoenix and doing what she will eventually do. And everyone else is like, but, like, she didn't do it yet, right? And, like, didn't we do, like, a whole fight with the real one here, and didn't she die? And didn't she come back? And we were kind of mad about that, but then didn't she die again and then stay dead for quite a while?
I'm just tired of every story that they tell about Jean Grey has to be about the Phoenix.
Yeah.
It's like you can do so much more with the character, but everything revolves on either the Phoenix or her relationship with Scott or Scott's relationship with the Phoenix.
I think the point of this was to say that Jean was bigger than the Phoenix. Lie.
Yeah.
But, like, I think that's what they were trying to do.
We see the scales of them next to each other, and the Phoenix is
This kind of
definitely
made sense
solid.
to me. Like, you know, she didn't get tried. She got tried. They didn't get what they wanted. So it kind of makes sense that some salty dude would come back and be like, hey, pay up.
Yeah.
So I get it. But did we need Guardians? I mean, I guess they're trying to make more money. Let's tie in another comic.
Yeah, I mean, Bendis was writing them anyway.
Yeah, Bendis wants to tie
Yeah.
in his books together.
Speaking of, so they're still trying to figure out a way to get to the tribunal because they don't know this stuff's happening. And so they go back outside the atmosphere of the planet and they see a bunch of Shi'ar ships around and they're like, we got this idea. And they basically honeypot the Shi'ar. They throw
This was
Angela.
great.
Yeah. They throw her out to drift in space and be like, well, we did it. So they're just going to see some hot chick floating in space, not recognize the genetic makeup, and they're all like want to get their grubby sciencey fingers on her because, like, of course they do, for several reasons.
Well, because people would normally, like, you know, their bodies will start deteriorating or whatever in space, but she's like, fine, just floating in space. Kind of like when Thor was floating in space.
Yeah, she didn't even look cold.
It's like, oh, this is weird.
And also,
So she's
you
just
see,
floating
she's
in
barely
space.
wearing a thing at all.
Yeah, of course. They're like, bring her in, quick,
There's some
quick.
creep ones. Do you see their hair? I don't trust a single one of them.
There's a guy there who's like,
Exactly.
Beam
That
her
was a
up.
quote.
So they do just that.
yeah.
They bring her into one of their ships, and they're like, we're gonna take this being to our science division because we're gonna do some science on her. And
Is that what they call it?
I'm gonna do
That's what I call it, too.
science. The science is what I call vaginas.
and then oddly enough, everyone on the ship waiting for this to happen is like complaining about the length of time it's taking. Like, well, they're all clearly bored, but like Drax complains for how long it takes, and then Angel complains for how long it's taking, and then he gets like reprimanded kinda for complaining, and he's like, "But Drax just did it," and he's like, "Well, we like him."
It's
like when he does, he said, "Quit whining." When he does it, it's not whining.
Okay.
But it is. And
Arthur.
And then right after all this, complaining banter happens, Angela like radios in and she's like, "All right, all done. Kill them all."
So I gotta say, I really love the art because it shows the Shi'ar guy like right above her, and he's speaking Shi'ar, so you don't know what he's saying, but they're assuming she's dead or something like that. And he's speaking and getting close to her face, and then it just zooms in, and you see her eyes open, and she's got a smile.
Yeah.
And then it, a page later, she killed everybody on the ship.
Yeah.
And she messages them saying like, "All right, like everybody's dead here now." And she just hears like, "Angela, will you marry me?" She's like, "I'm not going to marry you, Rocket." She's like, "Actually, it's Gamora." She's like, "Oh, then I'll think about it."
Yeah.
Yeah, because hot,
Exactly. Well, I think Angela does swing that way.
She swings whatever way she wants with those big ass sword axes. I don't even know what those are. They have some crazy ass shapes. They're blades.
Canonically.
They're heaven swords.
They're non-binary blades. They don't know what they are.
Okay.
But they get to be whatever they want.
They're like agnostic blades.
They're either axes or they're swords. They don't know. But it doesn't matter.
What is Dr. Pepper? Is it root beer? Is it cola? It's kind of both, but it's also
It's got too much flavor to be either, to be honest.
Yeah.
There's 23 flavors in there. One of them's cola, one of them's root beer.
I always wondered, though, is it like 23 different ingredients, or are they doing that shit where it's like, well, 2 flavors together is 3 flavors because they're the independent flavors plus the combined flavor, but then they add another thing so that, where they just keep stacking it.
It multiplies?
Like yeah.
I mean, I don't know how it's bragging because if you ever look at the back of a Coke can, it's like 50 different ingredients to make that.
Yeah, but those aren't flavors. That's like...
Every ingredient has a flavor.
Poison!
Poison!
I feel like Dr. Pepper's just like, yeah, throw it in. Throw it in. They just threw in enough stuff. You got 23. Tastes good.
I like the idea that they made it just by going to Baskin Robbins and carbonating all the ice cream.
All right, so anyway, Jean escapes. She just pulls
can't penetrate a sphere.
It turns out she had a needle the whole time.
She can't.
But
dig
that's
through
what
the
led
bottom.
up to it. Because Jason kind of sparked that, saying like, you killed her whole family.
Yeah.
So, boom.
And
she's out of
so
there.
she stuck with them long enough to realize, oh, I don't like this sphere anymore. And then she takes out the entire Imperial Guard by herself. And then no one thinks to be like, oh, maybe don't fuck with this chick. Because later they fuck with that chick.
Maybe let it go.
Because Oracle's kind of understanding. Which, I mean, I guess her name is Oracle. So
yeah. I feel like more stuff. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there's like a whole nother book.
There's a whole nother, yeah.
Did you stop taking notes at this point?
No, I didn't stop taking notes. It's that more stuff happens in that issue, and I just threw myself off with the notes. So, and I also wrote X-Guardians because I got tired of writing X-Men and Guardians.
that sounds like a good book right there.
Right?
The former Guardians.
But, yeah, so they do sneak into the throne world now because they got the ship, and there's that whole cliche of like ship number whatever the fuck, like you're going in the wrong, you don't have clearance for this spot, and then Rocket's all like, we found a chick and we're doing science on her, and they're like, all right, go ahead.
That's all you gotta say. He's like, oh, we do science on chicks too.
You guys science chicks, we science them too.
Yeah. And then something you don't see all too often, sad girl Jean.
Yeah,
like a whole page devoted to Jean just being like, I feel bad with myself because now there was the memories from Beast, but then when she saw the actual video of what the battlecruiser had captured, and you have the last 2 remaining Shi'ar dudes, and they're like, hold my hand as we die together, because that's a thing that literally the Shi'ar guy says. Like she had to
hold me like you did on Naboo, Annie.
But she sees her own face, older and has to come to terms with the reality that happens. Like, this is her leaving to process that.
Yeah, it wasn't just the memory of Beast, like, knowing it happened.
Yeah.
She actually saw it happen.
Yeah. Just because it's stuck in my head, I have to say this. I don't know if you guys remember that scene from Star Wars, but he tells Padme he doesn't like sand because it's rough and coarse and gets everywhere. Not like her.
So weird.
She doesn't get everywhere.
She stays out of those tough to reach places.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying.
She doesn't fill his butt.
They
crack,
have boundaries. Yeah. He's like, I don't roll that way.
Yeah.
But sand does.
Yeah. It goes right up my butt crack, and I don't like it.
I've told him no.
So, anyway, the Guardians and X-Men and Starjammers, they find a spot. They're like, oh, we got in undetected. Now we got to go find Jean. 'Cause they also hear that she escaped, right? And she's like, oh, well, there's that's good news. Now we just got to find her. They land. They're like, oh, want to get off the ship. So glad to not be in space. And as soon as they get out the ship, there's the Imperial Guard just standing there like, hey, what's up, guys? Way to be in a stolen ship.
Yeah, I believe you have my ship.
This is not going to go well for you now.
Give it back.
And a fight ensues. Basically, because Gladiator's like, you're in a stolen Shi'ar ship. I would pick your actions, your next actions very carefully. And then Rocket's just like, all right, and shoots him.
Which is bullshit, because he didn't even want to play with it until the Guardians were playing with it. And then all of a sudden they have it, and he's like,
That's my ship.
Yeah, I want to play with it. You guys gotta learn to share your ships.
So then there's a bunch of fighting, and like as the battle's about to start, though, like Angel's flying, and he's like, "Why we gotta be so careful? There's like 7 of them. There's like 100 of us. Like, I'm not a mathematician, but I'm pretty sure." And then the one chick, I forget her name, with the weird wings, the like weird wing cape thing, just shines a light. She just basically solar flares them, and then they're like, "Oh, we're all fucked up."
Yeah, and he's like, so Gladiator's like, yeah, if they get back up, hit them again.
Yeah, and then Cyclops like, what the fuck you say? Optic blast the shit out of his face. Probably the most powerful we've seen Cyclops optic blast in forever.
I really want this part in like a Guardians of the Galaxy movie, because they'd be playing Blinded by the Light at that part. It just fit in so perfectly when she's doing that, and it fits to the tones of the movies.
You know what? Considering the movies, it would be cool if there ended up being an X-Men Guardians movie crossover that is this event, just to have it. Like, just because there are so few events that are them. So, like, I would never say, really, like, at least never would have thought I would have said, I'd like to see this event be a movie.
Yeah.
But, like, now considering the cast that is that Guardians and, like, hoping for what the X-Men will be, is like, now I kind of want to see this so I can see the X-Men and the Guardians, like, get together and do some shit.
Yeah, I think it's just because we can't really think of another team up.
Right? That is them so specifically.
Yeah.
And then there's a cool little thing that happens where Gladiator looks at Scott and he's like, you're nothing like the older you would know better. And then he's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. And he's like, never mind. Maybe you are sounding like the older you.
That sounds more familiar. I've been told that before by you.
Like, that Boy Scout stuff just went out the window. Lots of kill talk from Scott, really.
Well, like, everybody
they all
always
changed after this.
Yeah.
After coming back, Jean and Scott, and Beast, we'll get to.
Mm-hmm. I feel like everybody who complains that Cyclops is a Boy Scout are the same people who are like he turned into a villain and killed Xavier, and those aren't Boy Scout things. How are you complaining about both
right?
of those?
Yeah.
People who never read anything, basically.
Yeah.
So,
because he's a Boy Scout in the comics and maybe or not the comics, but the cartoon and maybe the movie. But if you read, he's not.
Yeah, but
he was, when the X-Men first started, he was the fun one in the group.
Even this series, well, that's always Bobby.
Yeah, that's Bobby.
No, Bobby was like the immature one, but Scott was like the
in the
cool
60s,
guy.
Cyclops was not the fun one. He was the, hey, how about we not go to coffee?
Scott's the Leonardo.
We just go to the danger room.
Bobby's the Michelangelo.
I know this.
Michelangelo.
But like when X-Men came out in the 60s, he was seen as like the cool guy character.
Yeah, but I mean, come on. It's the 60s.
What are you trying to say about the 60s?
That the cool guys were pretty fucking straight edge, even then. Like, especially then. Because, I mean, it's just the tail end of the 50s, right? Like, they didn't know that their entire decade was going to be characterized as hippies. They just thought, like, this is a weird thing happening right now. And, like, now anytime anyone thinks of the 60s, they just think hippies.
Yeah, the hippies like Cyclops.
Yeah, but those weren't, like, the cool guys. Those were, like...
Just saying, maybe he got a little bit more straight-laced once his fucking girlfriends kept dying. He thought, like, man, I should stop my girlfriends from dying all the time.
But to your guys' point, you see that shift literally in this event. Like, you have kind of schoolboyish, like, super polite Boy Scout Cyclops, where he's even, like, he gets into a fight with Jean. Jean storms out. He even says, "Excuse me," to Angel. And walks away. Like, everything.
He's not rude.
Exactly. Like, he's being super polite even in, like, tense emotional situations. Yeah.
He's like, I like the idea of him having a conversation with someone. He's like, just because I'm a bad boy does not mean I don't have manners.
And now he's, like, showing us that he has a side to him that is, like, pushed too far. Anyway, Jean shows up and she's like, "You had me pegged all along. I am guilty. I'm a monster."
You wanted to say that sentence so badly.
Nope. It came out that way, and I realized what I was saying as I was saying it. The end of that issue. Part 6, Guardians 13. Last bit. And Jean picks right back up where she's like, "Yeah, I'm guilty." And what's his face? Gladiator. I don't know why I keep having a hard time.
Yeah, it's the same name.
I keep almost calling him
Remembering his
Guardian
name.
for some reason.
His name doesn't keep changing.
I know.
It's still the Gladiator.
I don't know.
CalArc.
Whatever. And every time you say CalArc, I think Kellogg's.
I didn't think you said Kellogg that time.
But she basically gives, like, this little speech of, like, what I did, what I grow to do, what I did do or will do. I don't know. It's confusing. It's all terrible, reprehensible, and, like, I deserve to be punished for that. But, like, you fucked up when you killed my family. Because, like, and even at, like, right before she says that, too, he has the balls to say, like, "With you dead, it'd be the last of the gray bloodline." And she's like...
Which is just not true.
And she's like, "Yeah, about that."
So it turns out I've got a couple kids.
Yeah, one who's going to turn the entire universe on his head because he's going to, like, blink out the X-Men and create, like, a weird mutant universe and be, like, the Jesus of that.
Yeah, I mean, and technically Cable's not her kid, but still born of her DNA.
Yeah.
So, like, can get the Phoenix.
What's the deal with What's the deal with Nate, though? Nate Gray.
What about him?
Isn't he an alternate reality kid of theirs? So not really Jean's kid?
Yeah, and then she has... You know what? She might just be the luckiest woman ever, aside from the dying
She has, like, 3 kids.
Because she has, like...
Gave birth.
Exactly. She has 3 kids but never gave birth.
Yeah.
Because even Rachel's from a future timeline and came back in time. And I guess with Cable, she's as much his, like, aunt as she is his mom.
Yeah,
she ended up getting all those memories from Madeline, though. So
yeah, but she's, like, always stealing people's memories.
Yeah, but, like, if one of the Stepford Cuckoos
hers.
had a kid with somebody, like, it wouldn't be Emma's kid.
Well, then that's different, though. All those memories, kind of like when the the young X-Men went back in time and they all got their memories or whatever. Like, Cyclops got young Cyclops memories when he went back to his time. So it was kind of like he lived that period. That's what happened to Jean and Madeline.
Is still
that's different.
Different character, though.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's a different character, but she received the memories as if they're her memories.
So does that make Jean Grey Beast now?
No, because when Jean received the memories from Beast, she was receiving Beast memories of the actions of somebody else.
Yeah, it was all his perspective.
I think
his
she's
perspective.
That's why there was that whole thing between her and Scott where she's like, "Yeah, I saw everything through Beast's eyes," like older Scott, and he's like, "Well, not it. Hank didn't know everything, not between us."
Yeah.
Yeah.
He only knew what he saw from the peephole.
Also ill. So more
Also
than Scott
factual.
realizes.
He did build all the security stuff in the mansion, so you know.
Oh, he has cameras.
That he was doing science?
Yep. Yeah, he said
the
that's what he
Shi'ar
said.
way.
Yeah.
It's science purposes.
So
this is security.
I'm studying mating habits.
So she becomes Super Saiyan, kinda. She is like, you killed my family, and now prepare to die.
My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
And she basically, for the first time, goes Sonic or Psionic.
Yeah,
Psionic.
I guess.
Yeah, like not the hedgehog.
Psionic the Hedgehog.
Yeah. No, I said Sonic first, but yeah.
Which also has Cyclops in it.
Yeah, I know. James Marsden. Yeah, she
You
goes.
see that he's FaceTiming his friends now, just wearing Cyclops glasses.
Apologizing for that terrible, terrible Imagine video.
I think everybody's forgotten about that already. That all the blame just pretty much went towards Gal Gadot on that.
Well, she did start it, and also, what is time now during quarantine? Because like it feels like it's been for fucking ever.
Yeah, it's not even close to over.
So, anyway, I just thought. Technically, these don't come out for, like, ever, so, like, what if someone's hearing this and is like, shit, Michigan's been quarantined this long? Because, like, this comes out weeks from now. Maybe, like, the quarantine's up by then. I don't know. Maybe.
If it is, then we have some problems.
Anyway, she goes psionic and just starts fucking up Gladiator, and everyone goes back to fighting. And Oracle pops up, and she's like, I'm going to stop this. And she actually does stop Jean for a minute. And they telepathically, and she starts giving exposition to what the psionic power even is, because right before then you have Beast going, is this the Phoenix? It's like, fucking no, man. Know your color codes, right? She's pink right now. Phoenix is like red and orange.
Yeah, I kind
no
of
bird.
wish though
There is no bird there.
No bird.
I kind of wish she would have, instead of whatever that mindscape was, I wish she would have brought him into that room that's just the two bugs that hang out.
That'd been an awesome callback.
The big bug room.
Yeah, it's supposed to be this whole scary thing, but
that's
bugs
only
seem like
Scott's
pretty
mind,
cool
right?
dudes. I think so, yeah. But
You just got bugs hanging out in there.
yeah, it's supposed to be this big scary thing, but like they seem like pretty cool dudes.
Yeah,
like you'd hang
They're
out.
just
with them.
chilling.
Yeah, they're not like trying to kill him and chase him. They're like, "Hey, what's up, Scott?"
Yeah,
up,
they're
bud?
smoking.
Yeah, they're
Like it's
catch game?
Cheech and Chong.
yeah.
Those are the bug names.
They're like bigger versions of the aliens from Men in Black that like just kind of hang out and drink coffee.
Oh yeah.
That's a metaphor that Scott needs to clean his room.
Yeah.
He's got big bugs in it.
Exactly.
So, yeah, Oracle is like, do you even know what you're doing? And Jean's like, yeah, I kind of know what I'm doing. Kicking you guys' ass. Also,
Kinda.
I'm taking all, like, the psychic energy around everyone, like, from everyone, basically spirit bombing herself, right? Like, she's just pulling all the life force, sort of.
Well,
And
like
combining
in that movie with, what was it, Broly? Or maybe it was a different movie, but Goku does a spirit bomb and then just absorbs all the energy.
No. Badass. Anyway, so she's doing that and at the same time using her telekinesis and telepathy, like in tandem, creating this glowy pink stuff that is like become her body.
It's ectoplasm.
Oh my god, dude, you need to watch what we do in the shadows, man. I swear to God. Anyway, she's talking to her in her mind, and she's like, get out of my head. I know what I'm doing. And she's like, all right, I guess you do. Because Oracle kind of just gives up. And then Jean, like, because Gladiator gets up, and he's rushing at her, and Jean rushes at him. And there's a big clash between the two of them. And they both fall. And then Peter, like, kind of rockets up and catches Jean. And Gladiator just plummets to the ground. And then, like, all the X-Men and stuff, like, run over to Jean to see if she's okay, and she's fine. And Oracle is just like, the fight's over. Yeah. I've decided. And then there's a funny moment of, like, Rocket, like, hey, once the fight's turning your way, you don't get to just stop the fight. And Groot's like, I am Groot. And Rocket's all like, yeah, I mean, I know she literally can, but, it's bad form.
I do like that Star-Lord takes the time to introduce himself to Jean Grey, right?
Oh,
here,
yeah.
During the middle of the fight, he's like, hi, I'm Peter Quill, by the way. She's like, you guys are cool.
Yeah.
But then immediately goes back into, like, Super Saiyan mode.
Yeah, and then Gladiator's all like, how dare you stop the fight, Oracle? You don't have the authority. And Scott's all like, you know what? I'm stopping the fight. I got
have
the authority. Fuck
Self-appointed.
Yeah. He gets all up in his face and he's like, if you even come close to Earth again or fuck with us, I'll kill you. And I'm serious. I'll bring every mutant. I'll get the Avengers. I'll get the Fantastic Four. I'll get all the Hulks, monsters. I don't care. And
They don't like me. I don't have the power to kill you, but I'll do it.
Pretty much. He's talking a lot of shit with nothing really to back it up.
Yeah.
But like he's angry.
But he does make a good point though of saying like, look what I brought to your doorstep in a day. Like,
yeah,
give me a couple weeks and see what we bring.
Yeah. I mean, all I gotta do is faint one more time and just imagine how many people are gonna be staring at me when I wake up.
Imagine if I faint 3 times.
Hope I don't pass out in New York.
Yeah, you better pray.
There's so many heroes in New York,
and they'll all come running.
Turns out that's like his 3rd superpower.
It turns out when he passes out, his visor falls off a little bit and just shoots beams in the air, and then they're like, hey, whoa.
It's an alarm symbol.
Yeah, that's why everybody's always surrounding him, because they're like trying to get him to like take the glasses down.
They put him back on. You just see like the second later, he's like, is it on? Are they on now? Good?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
And that's a pretty sweet moment, and then it kind of gets ruined because they're like, more people need to talk now. And so Jean chimes in, and she's like, yeah, what he said. Because I'm stronger now, not the Phoenix, my own power. Because I'm Jean Grey, and Jean Grey's bigger than the Phoenix. And this already never happened before, did it? No, because we're writing our own history. It's all new.
She said the thing. She said the title of the book.
Yeah. And then Star-Lord is like, yeah, don't forget about us. We're also protecting Earth. Hands off.
And the galaxy. Because we're the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Because he said the thing. But also, they always say the thing.
Yeah, then Scott's like, this is uncanny. And Nightcrawler just pops in. Amazing.
Anyway, they all get back in their ship and fly back to Earth. And, you know, they announce once they're out of Shi'ar space. And
you watch that video with that guy too much.
Shi'ar. No, he said they're Shi'ar, and I was like, they're not from Chicago.
Symbiotes. That's how it's pronounced. Symbiotes.
Symbiotes. Anyway, I forget who mentions it because you know it's a fucking room full of people in the ship, and one of them is like, "Oh, I think it's Kitty." He's like, "It's crazy. I would have just blown us up." As soon as like we were in range to blow us up on the way out.
Yeah.
And Peter's like, yeah, they won't do that because
my dad's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, my dad's like a crazy bad dictator dude, and they don't want issues with him, so they won't touch me. And she's like, how bad? He's like, really bad. He's like, oh, sorry to hear that.
There's a lot of swear words there, so I'm trying to picture what he's saying because it's not like really blank bad. It's like really blank, 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 blank. It's like motherfucking shit and fuck shit bad.
Yeah, but I think they just arbitrarily do that so that you place your own.
Yeah, maybe he's saying fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah, whole lot of U's in there.
Yeah.
Anyway, it just turns into them sort of flirting, Kitty and Peter.
Yeah.
Where she's like, I got a thing for a guy named Peter.
She does.
Got a phone? He's like, yeah, I got a space phone. Here you go.
Got a couple space phones. I'll give you your own space phone.
Direct line.
Yeah.
I'm on speed dial.
Drax, though, is talking to X-23, and he's like, where did you get your boots? I need a
the
pair.
boot claws.
Yeah, it's like
I need
really
a pair
like,
of those.
I really like the boot claws, and she's like, oh, they're built in.
Nice.
Nice.
He does, though.
Like
He does say
Wolverine.
nice.
Yeah.
But I like that you did it in creepy Wolverine voice.
Yeah.
Right.
She uses the knife blade to shave her legs.
Ew.
That's a callback to X-Men Evolution, our episode on that.
Yeah. And then they get back to Earth, and Scott's like, hey guys, I'm gonna go have my own series. Bye.
I'm gonna go spin off for a little bit.
I'll see you in the next crossover.
Yeah.
But yeah, he
Literally.
yeah. He's like, you guys have been great, but I thought my dad was dead. He's not dead. I'm gonna go be with my dad for a little bit. And then he goes to Jane and he like holds the side of her face and he has this whole, we get married, but that doesn't seem to turn out right for either of us, right? Because, like, you're dead a lot, and I end up with, oh, she called her Silver Boobs McGee. We forgot that all the way in the first part of this.
Silver Boobs. Yeah,
that's one of the problems she has. And then Angel's like, Silver Boobs who?
Yeah, Silver Boobs McGee.
Yeah, she was mad that she found out Scott, like, they got married, but
he's
Scott
like,
ended up with Emma.
Yeah, he's like, they're diamonds. Not silver.
That's what he was thinking.
Yeah. And that's when she got mad, because she read that thought.
Get your minerals right.
But, yeah, so he's like, it's not you, it's me, but it's us. Maybe this is for the best. Bye.
You still got Beast and Warren. Have
Yeah.
them fight over.
X-23, you're better than all of us. Take care of them.
Yeah, and like, and then the only thing we left out with Kitty and Star-Lord, because we kind of talk over you like saying it, is they start that little relationship between them.
Yeah.
Star-Lord's like, here's a phone, call me, and she's like, oh yeah, I'll use it for emergencies. He's like, you can just call and hang out. Like, this galaxy's pretty big, and I've met a lot of people, and like 7 of them are cool.
Yeah.
So like, we can hang.
It's actually not a phone. It's just a walkie-talkie. It's a direct line. So, you know.
Yeah, I mean, technically, yeah, it is
him and the number 7, because actually, too, when he's talking to, what's his face? Gladiator, that guy, whose name I keep fucking forgetting. Mohawk guy. Mohawk McDouche. Mohawk McDouche.
That's any guy with a
Mohawk is McDouche. So it's too vague now, huh?
Yeah, here.
Anyway.
Well, it's redundant.
Anyway, he's redundant. He's like,
literally,
Quill, how many empires are you trying to like start a war with? And he's like, 7. I think we can handle 7.
At least 7.
So anyway, just he uses the number 7 quite a bit there.
And as everybody's like getting ready to leave, Groot's talking to Rocket, and a couple of raccoons walk up. And Rocket's like, put on some goddamn pants.
Yeah.
Like, you're embarrassing
that's
yourself.
great too, because when they first get there, Groot's walking towards the trees, and he's like, "You're not gonna be weird with the trees again, are you?" And then like, there's a callback to that in the next page in the back. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on in these panels because there's so many characters.
Yeah, they're trying to wrap a lot of stuff up.
Like Groot's getting freaky with the pine tree.
Yeah, he's like poking it.
Like, you're making it weird.
Yeah.
And then so Scott leaves, and Iceman's like, wait, what? And like, what do we do if we gotta go back to time? Like, we can't go without him. Like, all these questions are popping up, because even Kitty was like, no, you're not doing that. And he's like, yes, my dad though, so I am gonna do that. So you're not the boss of me, he's my dad.
Yeah, technically he has custody, so
Yeah.
You're not
that's
really
all
my
he's
legal guardian.
And she's like, technically he has space cat herpes.
Which is also
because she was the
Epsilon.
boss until his dad.
That's what Epsilon means.
Yeah.
This whole time she's being called what she's like has.
What's weird is at the end of this, like, everybody leaves and it's just the X-Men, and they're like, all right, let's go back to, like, we're right at our house, and then they all walk in different directions.
Right? And they can't get anyone to stay for food. It's like, no, trust us. You got to see these burgers, like the cafeteria. It's really good. I mean,
It's
you got to be the
huge.
first one. If you're like
Angel's
the third
like,
guy,
check
you're
this
getting
out.
a shitty sandwich. But
Yeah.
It's the
There's-
only burger. It's one. He's like, watch me eat it. Look at this. This thing
There's
is
one
great.
burger, a salad, and a bologna sandwich.
Yeah.
but always those 3 things. It's crazy. Like, Magic has some sick sense of humor. She only picks up those 3 things.
Yeah.
And then it ends with Jean just being really grumpy, like real mad. Which
And,
is weird.
She's got like a little phoenix or a power flare up or some crap. We don't know.
Oh, it's the Sonic, psionic thing.
Supersonic.
And at this time, they're really expanding out on how many X-Men books they have. Because for a while it was just like all new and uncanny, pretty much. And then in this like few weeks, they launched like Amazing X-Men. They launched, or no, it was 4 X-Men books, not 2.
Yeah.
But,
We had all the solo books or whatever still going on.
Yeah, but like right here, they launched Cyclops, Magneto, and Amazing X-Men.
Yeah.
And I feel like there was one more that they spun off in the.
Nightcrawler starts very, very shortly after this.
No, it's still Amazing. It just Amazing is about him, basically.
Don't they have
Yeah, but
a
he
Mystique
gets
book
his
at
own
this time,
solo
too?
here. No, Mystique only has one solo. I believe.
Mystique shows up in the you're probably thinking of the cover, and she shows up in the Amazing books.
Yeah, Amazing number
Because it's
6.
the next
She's on
arc.
the cover.
Yeah. But the thing I liked though, when you brought up Kitty and Peter and the whole phone exchange.
I was thinking of the series from 2003.
Oh,
now that I'm looking into it, but yeah.
but I liked that you saw them as kind of young. Like that's what it made Kitty feel like she's still a young character because she seems like such an older character surrounded by these teenage X-Men. But like, so you forget that she's like in her early 20s and, you know, she has that side of her of just like, you know, datey, romantic.
Yeah.
That whole character arc.
Yeah, like she's still... It's before...
She's still immature to a degree.
A couple years from now, she's going to be real, like...
bitchy.
Not what I was going to say at
Real
all.
bitchy. No, X-Men Gold, she's pretty bitchy.
But I was going to say...
I didn't like that.
A couple years from now, is she gets real beaten down by the not-so-great men she's dated.
Oh.
But,
that
mean...
makes it sound like a domestic issue.
No,
she gets real beaten down by all the men she's dated.
She's exhausted.
But how? They can't even touch her.
I know,
Can't
right?
touch this.
She's exhausted by the...
You saw that wall?
Exhausted.
All the dick holes? Couldn't even touch her.
It's a very specific reference to a
I know,
fan
but...
Yeah, what are you referencing?
But if you listen to the show, you would have heard Tony mention this meme like 7 times.
I have not mentioned it.
You have. You really have.
There is a meme where Kitty is sticking her butt through a wall and there's like 5 holes around it, and Colossus is like, I'm not falling for that again.
Yeah. Yeah. If they listen, they know.
Yeah. I no.
Well, that wraps it up. Here, that's where it ends.
Yeah, that's where it ends. Jean all mad.
Cyclops gone, Jean flaring out.
He goes off to meet a nice space girl.
I don't like how you said
Space
flaring
Daddy.
out. But you know, you people should go like our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Everything is at Mex-Men Podcast.
Yep. At least we said different words.
You said one letter different from each other.
No, several
Politics.
letters.
Depends on how you read it.
Yup and yeah are almost completely
You're not spelling
spelled
them right.
differently.
Not the
Anyway,
Shi'ar way.
go to our TeePublic. We have stuff for sale. Mainly all the stuff they provide on TeePublic, but with our image on it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All stuff.
You should buy one of each.
Or what you like.
Or, yeah, I guess.
Different kind of shirts and laptop cases and phone cases.
why do we never do
There's
this?
Pretty cool stuff there.
Or mail us money.
Don't. Don't.
I don't know why we don't do that. That's
You
very
could just
likely to
do
happen.
that.
Do that.
955 Scott Lake Road, Waterford, Michigan.
I'm gonna edit that out.
Why?
Yeah.
Don't kill us.
Mail money, don't show up.
Oh no, don't do that. We're in an office building.
Yeah. I'm gonna edit that out.
It could just go to anybody. Oh no. No, Suite 105.
Yep. Buy a shirt.
Stop making
Buy
it-
it too small.
We're surrounded by windows. They could kill us so easily.
Who's gonna kill us?
Just people who are annoyed at you calling Kitty
Calark.
Pryde a
That's
bitch.
who.
I didn't. I said she gets bitch E.
So yeah, we have shirts.
Yeah, buy them.
Onesies.
Yeah, onesies.
Tapestries.
If it helps,
Cups,
she also
mugs.
gets nicer again.
Yeah, and
It's just a weird time in her life in comics.
we're
X-Men Gold.
finally breaking Devin's streak of every episode saying that some guy he likes the cut of his jib.
Oh.
So
Oh, well, we need to get back into that. So if you like the cut of our jib, buy a product.
get your shit together, Devin. You gotta like the cut of more people's jibs.
I feel like this is something being forced on me right now.
You forced it.
I'm not
Yeah.
forcing anything.
Oh really? You're
He's
talking
being
about
selective, okay?
I didn't force a damn thing.
So if you're still listening at this point, thank you, and that's for today.